Hello, everyone. I'm Andrea Cook, the founder of Dragon Divinations, and today I felt called to do a collective tarot reading on the Lionsgate portal, which is 8-8. So let's go ahead and jump into the reading. So the Lionsgate portal is a time of year when we receive a lot of energetic support from off planet. And so we're going to go ahead and pull the main themes for this upcoming Lionsgate portal. Okay, so what we have right now is deep replenishment, retreat, rest, and be held. No, wait, postpone, pause, and say no. And align your life. What is not aligned or what needs to change? So, what I'm feeling is that right now, what we're being called to do is really to examine our lives, to take a pause and reflect, and really look at all of the ways that we've been behaving that are not sustainable for the long term. So, where have we been pushing too hard to grow? Where have we been trying to bypass our authentic feelings? Where have we been trying to push ourselves to be productive when our body is actually shutting down and letting us know, hey, I actually don't have the energy for this. I really need to rest right now. Where are we not really listening to the signals that are coming from our bodies? So, whenever we have opportunities that come up in our lives, whether it be work opportunities or opportunities for connection, such as new relationships or friendships, or even spending time with other people, such as family members or anyone that we're really connected to, our body is going to give us a signal about whether or not that's a good idea for us. And the reality is that sometimes seeing someone is a good idea, and sometimes it's not a good idea. And it's not always black and white, right? There may be certain individuals in our lives, there may be certain situations in our lives, certain work environments, certain living environments that are a red flag every time. Every single time this individual or this situation comes up, our body is letting us know it's a no for us. That person is not good for me. However, there are also times when our capacity really fluctuates. And so sometimes, for example, take family members. Sometimes you might be able to deal with your family members, but it takes a lot of emotional energy to deal with them because maybe they don't always respect your boundaries, maybe they don't always understand you, maybe sometimes they project onto you, they're judgmental, they're criticizing, they're always evaluating you in your life, and that can bring up a lot for you. And so family might not necessarily be always a no. It's just that, do I have the energy for this? Do I have the capacity for this? And really, what's being highlighted here is, where are we saying yes when we need to say no? Where are we pushing ourselves past what our capacity actually is, and burning out and becoming depleted, and then recognizing after the fact, hey, the way that I'm living is not actually sustainable. And so, what the guides are really wanting us to look at during this Lionsgate portal is to use our discernment and to also assess our capacity on a day-to-day basis. Another example might be, you may be going through a period of grief right now. And maybe you're feeling frustrated that you're not able to produce results as quickly as you would like to. But the reality is that your body needs to go through the process of grieving. And so we have to take the time to rest, to replenish ourselves. Otherwise, we will not be able to keep going. And we're really being asked to look at both the ways that we push ourselves in ways that are unhealthy, but also where are we judging ourselves for not being able to produce results fast enough? Or where are we judging ourselves for not being able to produce the desired outcome? Another way that this can show up is, let's say you've reached a landmark age in your life. Let's say that you just turned 30, or you just turned 35, or you just turned 40. And so you're thinking about your life in terms of what you believe you should have accomplished at this point in your life. Maybe you're thinking, oh, I should have had kids by now. I should have owned a house by now. I should have achieved certain career milestones by now. I should be making this much money by now. But our paths are individual and unique, and we're not meant to fit a cookie cutter. What the person next door is doing or what your friend is doing is not necessarily supposed to be what's aligned for you in your life path. And where are we judging ourselves for not being able to keep up with the Joneses, essentially? That's what I'm feeling here. So that's the overarching message, and we're going to go ahead and start pulling some tarot cards. All right. So what I'm seeing here is that in the past, we were able to achieve some wish fulfillment. With the Two of Cups, it might have been a relationship that we always wanted to be in. It could also represent a business partnership that we always wanted to magnetize, a job opportunity that you always wanted. This is giving relationships and soulmate energy, but obviously apply it as it applies to you personally. And so in the past, we were able to achieve some wish fulfillment. However, the wish that was fulfilled was a temporary gratification. It wasn't something that was meant to be long term. It wasn't something that was sustainable long term. And so eventually we outgrew this wish fulfillment and we walked away from it. And we are still in the process of grieving the death of old dreams. Another way that this could apply is maybe there is some type of career milestone that you wanted to achieve and you achieved it. But when you actually did achieve it, you realized that it wasn't going to sustain your happiness long term. So, for example, you might have gotten a dream job, and when you got to the job, you realized, oh, I want more. I actually want something a little different. I actually want more responsibility, or I want more from my relationship. And so Spirit is acknowledging, like, yes, we were able to fulfill some goal that we had in the past, and it was a dream for us, but it was never meant to be long term. So take that as it applies. And we've recently walked away from something that was once a long held dream. Now, in the present, with the Queen of Wands, we are aiming for something bigger and better. We're aiming for more. We want more responsibility in the workplace or in our business. We're looking for the next level. Or if this is a job, you're wanting to get to the next higher level. of management, because the Queen of Wands is a boss. This is an empowered person, whether you're masculine or feminine. The Queen of Wands is someone who is embodied, a leader, and someone who is aligned with their life purpose. And so, what we are actually learning in achieving these new levels of leadership and responsibility and life purpose, it comes with a certain amount of karma. And when I say karma, I don't necessarily mean negative karma. What I mean is that with great power comes great responsibility. Word to Spider-Man. That's what this is representing, is that there is a certain acknowledgement that when we are able to fulfill some of our life goals and some of our life dreams, comes with a massive amount of responsibility. Now people are depending on us. This could also be like maybe in the past, like you always wanted to have children and now you finally have children and you're recognizing, wow, like I'm responsible for another person's well-being. This little one is dependent upon me. Or at a job, it could be that you're now a boss and you've got employees. Now the well-being of my employees depend on me. And so that's what I mean by karma. With great power comes great responsibility. And that's what we're really learning, like in not just in a theoretical way, because in the past we had a certain dream we wanted to fulfill. Now we fulfilled that dream and we recognize the responsibility that dreams actually come with when they're fulfilled. And so that's what we're realizing. We're learning how to wield the power that we have. And so with the Hierophant here, what's also happening is that our beliefs are changing. Maybe we're looking back at the past, and maybe in the past it was very easy to judge our boss. It was very easy to think that we could do a better job than them. Maybe in the past we judged our parents. We thought, oh, we could do a better job as a parent than them. But now that we're actually a parent, now that we're actually a boss, now that we have this new level of responsibility, we're realizing, oh, this is harder than it looks. And so we're changing our beliefs, we're changing our perspective about what it means to have power, about what it means to wield power in the world, because each of us is our own creator, God, and goddess. And so here in the future, what's being asked of us, again, this message is repeating of we need time for introspection. We need time to integrate the lessons that we just learned. So the lessons that we learned from walking away from this old wish fulfillment that was no longer making us happy, whether it was a job that no longer made us happy, a role, a relationship, we're integrating the lessons of what did we actually receive from this wish fulfillment. And then we're also integrating the lessons of understanding that, yes, it is okay to want more, but wanting more and achieving more also comes with more responsibility. And so we're really being asked to do some introspection around that theme. And so right now, it's very important for us to take the time to rest, because in that rest, the answers are going to come. A lot of you right now might be feeling like you're looking for answers, and the answers are within. You don't need to go outwards to seek the answers. What you need is to rest so that you can allow the answers to come, because the answers are already within you. You just need to allow them to come to the surface. And so it's really important for us to take the time to pause, to wait. Don't jump into the next phase. Figure out what actually in our life is not aligned. What's not sustainable long term? Where are we not listening to our bodies? Where are we pushing forward? Once we assess what needs to change, we can make those changes and then we can move forward smoothly. With the Six of Swords here, the Six of Swords here represents a smooth transition. And so what Spirit is saying is if we take the time to really pause, to really assess, to rest, to see what's not aligned, what's not sustainable, then we will have this smooth transition forward into this next level of power and fulfillment and purpose. And also, with the Nine of Coins here, we're really assessing where in our lives do we want to have more freedom? Where do we want to be in our sovereignty? And so there is an interesting dynamic happening here, this balance with justice, justice describes a balance. There is a balance between our sovereignty and the responsibility that comes with having more power. There's a balance between our freedom and the responsibility that comes with having our wish fulfillment. So if we're able to manifest the relationship of our dreams, how can we actually create something that is going to last for the long term? How can we actually build relationships that are going to be long lasting? How can we balance between our personal sovereignty and recognizing that our freedom also comes with responsibility because our freedom also impacts others? And so it is about finding that balance between the choices that we are making for ourselves and the choices that are impacting others. So it's important to find the right balance here. That's what we're doing with this rest period, is asking these deeper, these introspective questions. And if we take the time to do that, we're going to have a smooth transition forward, and we're going to be very happy in our new roles of responsibility and in our new relationships that we manifested. And so here, the overarching card is the Six of Coins, and the Six of Coins describes equal reciprocity. And so part of this analysis that we're doing, part of this balancing that we're doing, is we're taking a look at all of the relationships that exist in our lives, all of the job opportunities that exist in our lives, and really just assessing, like, where are we equally yoked? Where am I getting what I'm receiving? Where, or rather, where am I giving what I'm receiving? Where is it a balance, give and take? And then assessing also, where are things out of balance, right? Whether that's like, oh, you're not resting enough, you're pushing too hard, where are things out of balance? So it's very important for us to assess our relationships, like, hey, who in our relationships are actually bringing an equal amount to the table? And if the other person is not bringing an equal amount to the table, we're walking away from that. Where are people bringing an equal level of emotional maturity? Where are people doing their part? Are our employees at our business showing up and offering as much as we're offering? Is the boss doing as much work as the employees? Is my partner showing up and doing 50-50 of the house chores? So that's what we're really assessing right now, is like looking at our lives and seeing, all right, where are things equally yoked? Where are things out of balance? And that's the most important thing for us to discover.
And so those are all the themes for the Lionsgate portal. And so I hope these messages resonated for you. If you're interested in having a personal tarot reading, I will provide links below. And I also, in addition to tarot readings, I also offer energy healings, Akashic Records, Metaphysics and Life Transformation, Psychic Development Mentorship, and I also sell products such as flower essences, herbal teas, and clearing sprays. And so if you are interested in any of those offerings, you can find the links below. You can find my link tree. You can also add my business newsletter, which is on Substack, and you can follow me on Instagram. And so I hope that you all have a great Lionsgate portal. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment, and especially subscribe so that you can always get an update whenever there's a new video out. Thanks. Have a great day.